Okay, welcome everyone. Today we are doing another Angular study group session, and today I'm going to present Angular modules. Okay, I have some slides here. I'm going to go a little bit slowly because I'm not very familiar with this topic as well. As I was mentioning to Nicholas, I'm also very new to Angular. We all learn together, right? Okay, so what is Angular module? I'm going to turn off my video for now. Okay. Angular modules, or we call them NG modules, are a mechanism to group components, directives, pipes, and services that are related in such a way that can be combined with other modules to create an application. Okay, and another analogy to understand what Angular modules are is to use the analogy classes. In a class, we can define public or private methods. And in Angular modules, we can also do that. We use export to export methods publicly so that other modules can use them. So popular Angular libraries are, Angular libraries are NG modules, such as forms module, HTTP client module, router modules. These are popular modules that you'll be using in your application. And there are other third-party libraries out there that you can also use in your application. For example, Material Design, Ionic, or Angular Fire 2. I guess these are kind of like presentation or CSS related libraries that makes your application looks better, I think. All right. How do I go next? Okay. Root modules, or we call them app.module, is the root of your Angular application. And every Angular application will have this app.modules.ts. All right, there's only one in one application. So it sits here, /app/app.module.ts, and it looks something like this. It has the import at the top, ng module, and typically it will import browser module, okay, so that it can communicate with the browser. And it will have all these things here with the attribute add ng module, okay, and inside there, there's one object with these properties. And each of these properties has an array attached to it. I'm very sorry, hang on. Okay. Just checking if I've started the recording. Okay, most apps have many feature modules. So only one app module and many feature modules. And in here, you would define a kind of a hierarchical structure of the view, and it's a key factor of the way Angular detects and responds to changes in the DOM and the app data. So this is just information for you when you are developing your structure, how you want the DOM to parse each of the module. Okay, so the standard structure looks like this. And now I'm going to explain what each of these does in the next slide. Okay, ng module metadata. It's defined by a class that created with this one, as I showed you before. And it's a function that takes a single metadata object, which properties are the following. And the most important properties are declarations, exports, imports, providers, and bootstrap. So the declarations are where you put all the components, directives, and pipes that belong to this ng module. I think we covered these concepts earlier in, I think, Ying Min's session, I think maybe 3 weeks back. Exports are the subset of declarations that should be visible and usable in the component templates of other NG modules. So when you export it, then other NG modules can see it. Import is other modules whose exported classes are needed in the component templates declared in this NG module. Okay. So whatever you import and any component inside this NG module will be able to use it. For providers, it lists the creators of services that this NG module contributes to the global collection of services. They become accessible in all parts of the app. You can also specify providers at the component level. So correct me if I'm wrong, I think providers is a bit like dependency injection.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, so for example, things like logger, things you want to maybe declare only once, but use in almost all of the modules, you can put it in providers. Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is the main application view called the root component, which hosts all other app views, and only the root ng module should set up the Bootstrap property. Okay, let's go back one slide again to look at the structure. So only the root module, which is the app.module.ts, will have this Bootstrap here, and it will always start with the app component, I think. So, okay. That's interesting. I just realized that this is different from this, and I'm not sure why. Okay, never mind. So, okay, this is the root module. And okay, so aside from the root module, we have other frequently used modules. For example, platform browser. When you want to run your app in a browser, common for when you want to use ngIf and ngFor. Forms, when you want to build templates for driven forms, cut off a bit, includes ng module. Angular forms to build reactive forms. Is that repeated? Router for router link for root and for dot for child, and common HTTP when you want to talk to the server. When you want to call APIs, you use this module. So I'm going to explain a bit more about platform and common later. Let me go back and make sure that I haven't missed out anything. Seems like no. Okay. So feature modules are modules that you can create to group functionality together. Okay, so here I will show you a demo. So I'll stop sharing these slides. Here in my application, I have downloaded the template, not the template, the example application that shows off modules. Okay, so in a typical application, you will have app.module.ts, which is a root module. And like I said before, it will have import, maybe export, but in this case, we don't have export because it's the root module, declarations, and Bootstrap. So like I said before, for the root component, the app.module.ts, we have the Bootstrap. Okay, so this one is very important in this module. Apart from this, the app.module, the root module, will almost always import the browser module if you are talking to the browser. Okay, so this one, we only import in app.module.ts. And ng module is what we need for all the core Angular methods. This is the root module, which refers to this one here. These are the feature modules that we have created for this application. We have created one called contact module and one called greeting module. And we also have one routing module, which is this file here. Okay, I think we touched on routing module last week. It was Jennings who presented that. Okay, so this is what our root module looks like. So let's look at contact module feature module. So you can use the command, which I'm going to show you in a while, to generate your feature module. So this one is already generated, and you can look at module.ts. What it has here, where you have the add ng module and giving it an object. We also have the typical imports, declarations, and providers. Okay, but you note that in here we don't have bootstrap because this is not the root module. Okay, and we say at the end here, export means this one can be used outside of this feature module. This group of class here is a group of files belonging to the contact feature. Okay, so whatever you need in here, you need to import. You list all the modules that you need. So that is imported here. Declaration is what, let me check. The components, directives, and pipes that belong to this ng module. Okay, so anything you use here, you add to the declarations. Did you want to add anything, HongTat?
Yeah. So as I told you before, right? So a module is actually to group the component, directive, and pipe. Whatever you want to use in the same module, but on another component, right? You have to declare in this declaration. Otherwise, other component can't use it because you haven't declared.
Okay.
Yeah.
So other components in this feature.
Yes. So if
Okay.
let's say you have a contact list,
Mm-hmm.
which it depends on the contact component, and you want the contact list to use the contact component, and you have to do the declaration here.
Mm.
Yeah. So
So,
declaration is a place where you declare all these components are part under this module.
oh yeah, okay. Would it be somewhere? In here, maybe? Not sure.
No. Yeah.
Contact component will be used in.
Contact component. If because if you want to use the component, you have to declare it, and so that the module know we have this component part under me.
Okay. So if I use it
Yeah.
elsewhere in other feature modules.
If you want to use it elsewhere, you have to add the export.
Export.
Yeah,
Okay.
export the component. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and show you how to create your own feature. Oops. Terminal. And we use the ng generate module, customer dashboard. Okay. So this is created. And you can see there's a folder here with the module here. Okay, so the module will automatically have declarations empty for you, imports the common module. Okay, I haven't talked about the common module, but in the root module, you import the browser module, but in your feature module, you import the common module. Okay, and common module exports all the basic Angular directives and pipes such as ngIf, ng-for for you to use. Okay. And then it also export this class customer dashboard module. Okay. Next, you use the component to generate the component. Ng generate component. And then we want to put it in a folder, customer dashboard / customer dashboard. Okay. And once this is done, it will auto-generate inside customer dashboard folder, another customer dashboard. And if you look at the okay, so these are all automatically generated. And over here, I think I need to fill in something. Let me refer to this one. Okay. Okay, so when I do the generate, this command, generate component, it will also modify my customer dashboard module.ts to import the customer dashboard component from the right location. Okay, so this is automatically added for me. What else? Yes, HongTat, you want to add something?
No.
Okay.
I think, yeah, that's all. Whenever you generate component, you find the nearest module and add into the declaration. Yeah,
One.
that means, right, this component is parked under the customer dashboard module.
Okay. Okay. So how do you import this feature module into your application? What you need to do is you go to your app.module. This is a root module. Okay, you need to add here first to import the customer dashboard module. Okay, first you import it up here. Okay, and then you also need to specify in the imports list like this here, adding a comma. Okay, so that's what you need to do when you want to add the feature module after you have auto-generated the files. Okay, and this is just to check that it is working in that customer dashboard. You see the HTML, it already has this customer dashboard works. Okay, and exports, I think we already have this one. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, we need to add this one in the customer dashboard module.ts here. You need to export it. Am I right? Export. customer dashboard component. Okay. And we will put this into the wherever we want it to show. Here it's showing in app.component.html. But I have tried this one. It doesn't work because actually it's overridden by something here in the app.component.ts. It has its own template here. So I'm going to add it here. I'm adding the selector from customer dashboard component. So once I've added all these things, I can try to run.
Definitely, I think you have to save all the file first.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. Let me try this again, just in case. So actually this application, I have tried this before. It has its own routing that it redirects the default. This is already in use. I think it's because this one is running. Uh, okay. Looks like there's no question so far. It's either I'm doing a very bad job or maybe it's too easy for you. Okay, so it's loading now. And this is the sample that I've downloaded with all the different features. Actually, contact is one feature, items is another, and customers. But we are not seeing, oh yeah, we are seeing customer dashboard works. This is what I have just added just after the template here. Here, okay, which takes from here, customer dashboard. Oh, I'm sorry, over here, customer dashboard works. Okay, so that's my demo. Yep.
Definitely, I have a question.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
sure.
I am just new here. Okay, for this Angular, right? So this what you're creating, is it like apps, websites, or mobile apps? Because I'm not sure which one. So you're just creating a website. Right?
Yeah, it's a website.
Oh, okay, okay. So that means, let's say, Angular coding also have mobile apps as well, yeah? I
Um, yeah, I believe so. HongTat, do you want to explain?
Yes, there is a mobile app development using Angular. You can either use Ionic. I think in the previous slide,
Yeah,
Daphne mentioned about this.
yeah.
You need to use Ionic to wrap it. So you still develop Angular and make sure you make your Angular app responsive. And Ionic is the one to wrap your Angular app so that you can put it up to the Play Store or App Store.
Okay.
Yeah. So the content is still the same. It's Angular, just that you have to do extra work to use Ionic to wrap the Angular app.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Someone is also interested in the Ionic session, but this is the example. I copy the link. Okay. So when you go to Angular Guide feature modules, is it feature modules? Oh yeah. So you can either use the live example to go to Stack Blitz, or you can download the example. Okay, let me try to go back to my presentation. Just a few more slides to cover. And okay, these are the different types of feature modules. Oh, this one I'm actually not very sure, but a domain ng module is organized around a feature, business domain, or a user experience. Routed is the top component of the ng module, acts as a destination of a router navigation route. Routing is what I have showed before. Okay, in here, I'm sorry, in the root module, we have this one is the routing module, and it looks like this, which we touched upon last week. Okay. Service module provides utility services such as data access and messaging. Okay, so anything related to database data access, you can put it in as a service module. Widget is what makes a component directive or pipe available to other ng modules. And shared makes a set of components, directives, and pipes available to other modules. So this last two is sharing, but I think widget is more like a UI, and shared is more like a set of things you want to share around. So I think I'm covering shared module later. And you can read up a bit more on the website, but these are some of the things that you need to take note of. For example, in a domain module, you rarely need to provide providers, but you will almost always add declarations. Okay. So this is what a shared module looks like. Okay, shared module imports common module. Like all the other feature modules, you have to import, well, you most likely import a common module. And these are all the things that you want to share. And these are all the things you want to export. And together, this one, you call it a shared module, so that you can use these things in all the other feature modules, and you don't need to repeat your code to add all these regularly used modules. So you can put commonly used directives, pipes, and components into one module, and then import just this shared module wherever you need in other parts of your app. Note that it imports the common module because modules component needs common directives, and it declares and exports the utility pipe directive and component classes, okay, here. And it re-exports the common module and forms module. So you see it imports common module, and it also exports common module. Same for forms module, it's exporting again. All right. Does that make sense? I hope it does. By re-exporting the common module and forms module and any other module that imports this shared module can get access to the directives like ngif, ng4 from the common module, and it can bind component properties with ng model, which is a directive in forms module. Does that make sense? That's the end of my sharing. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. But yeah, I do recommend that you read more on this website. And it has even covering things like lazy loading. Okay, if you go to the bottom here, it talks about lazy loading modules and Angular router, but I'm still new to all this. It's better that you study this when you need to learn more about lazy loading. Okay. Okay, let me just share the I think there was another. Never mind, I'll share this one first. Any other questions? If no, I will stop the presentation and I'll stop the recording.